All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Nipaa TV show. I'm your host, Nipaa95. That's me. We're gonna play some. We're gonna cast some StarCraft Brood War. Let's get to it. Let's go and spin the wheel of fun. Let's see what we end up landing on, bruh. Looks like we're gonna do PvP first. Let's go and do that, remove that, and here we go. So, first game, let's get rid of the wheel. I forgot what the map was called. I actually didn't see what the map was. Crap. Oh well. Let's go and reveal the entire map. Actually, I could just pull it up right now to see what it is. Yeah, PvP. We got Barcode versus Barcode V, the red barcode there. And let's see. So it's on the map Pantheon. This is a map we haven't really commentated on before. Typically it's like Radion or Fighting Spirit or Neo Sifid or whatever it's called. But yeah, this map, you know, Pantheon, kind of interesting. Definitely different. We got a giant hole in the center of the map. We got an egg on the ramp here. And interestingly, this ramp goes up and down kind of like a skateboard rink or something like that. And you got a base here that's completely surrounded. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Because it looks like the ramp, yeah, like, look, the ramp is going down. So can you even wall off here? I don't think so. So, certainly be interesting. Is the strat to wall off down here? But it looks like it doesn't really matter in PvP because both players are just going to do it inside their base. Going to construct buildings inside. And as we see in typical fashion, we see an early scout for our Protoss here. We'll just call them, yeah, because both players are the same name, same race, except for the V. So maybe V versus Barcode. We'll just call red V, and I think this is brown. So looks a little similar to me, but they are not. We are not the same, right? So we have a scouting probe. He's going to see this base immediately. And nothing too wackadoodle out of the ordinary. Cybernetics core, pretty stereotypical, yes. No, pretty typical standard build. I think we're going cyber here. So no 2-gate shenanigans are going on right now. So that is pretty Daijobu cool. Yeah, just like interesting ramps throughout this entire map. We have like this plus sign with 4 ramps that either go to an expansion. This expansion is like perfectly 90 degrees, which is cool too. And then we have another base here and here. And this one actually doesn't even have any gas. What a wacky map. Wow. This one, okay, so the symmetry is relatively the same. So yeah, therefore this one's going to be just minerals on this side too. So interesting dynamic. Brood War maps are wild. We have a Zealot moving out for Barcode. Gonna try to take out V's probe, but V is microing it pretty dang well. We actually see Singularity charge, I think, on both players. No, it looks like Barcode isn't going for... Okay, wait. Yes, he is. He literally just started it. So both players, in classic mirror matchup fashion, are doing the same production, it seems. We do have a move out from V. I think we have a Zealot and a Dragoon. I think this is standard. The Zealot Dragoon opener here. Both probes getting out unscathed at this time. Dragoon is moving up. We'll see if V is going to be able to pick off or definitely damage this Zealot, but decides to pull out a little bit. And that is fine. Now, both players, again, as I mentioned before, doing the same production. We do have a robotics facility coming out for V. So we're probably going to see some shuttle play. Maybe some Reaver drops. That will be fun to watch. We'll see what Barcode ends up not doing the exact same thing. Opting to get 2 gateways. So we're going to see a little bit more ground forces from Barcode, theoretically, it seems. And it looks like saving up for an expansion, perhaps. Oh, okay. That if you click on their names, it actually reveals their perspective. That's kind of cool. Ends up not getting that expansion. What did they end up spending it on? Another gateway. I'm sorry, am I mixing them up? What did he spend? Oh, he spent it on units. Okay, gotcha. I was like, where did those 400 go? Spent it on some more Dragoons. Both players almost relatively even in units. It looks like V technically has more, but this gateway production is going to truly pump out more ground forces. We have an observatory here too from V. That is pretty cool. So we could get some observers. Probably going to start pumping that out as soon as it's complete. So we should see the observers coming out relatively soon. There is one just to try to thwart any Dark Templar play that may out. But we do have an engagement here, and unfortunately these Dragoons are on hold position, and V losing some Dragoons and simply just getting caught out there at the wrong time, just not paying attention, losing all of the ground forces. That was actually pretty huge. This actually might just be GG right now. In just one fell swoop. Barco just ends up, yeah, that's it. Wow. Quite anticlimactic, but there you go. Just came down to just not paying attention there. That's always feels bad. I've certainly had my moments where I just didn't pay attention to my units going on. All right, TVT, we got a lot of mirror matchups today. So we're getting the mirror matches out of the way at least, so that's pretty cool. So we have on the top of the map, we have QWR. We'll just call him Terran for now. And then on the bottom left, we have It's Otani. And I think this is the map called Let Loose or something like it. Kick Back. No, sorry, it's Dominator. Again, another map we haven't really commentated on, so that is pretty interesting to note. We have a lot of banter going on between these two Koreans. These are Korean players, S tier. I kind of like the map design. It looks like kind of like an octopus that's being stretched out. If your morbid mind would be able to go there. So taking a look at the map, since we have never really commentated on it before, it kind of looks like a free-for-all map if you have ever played free-for-all maps before. We have a ramp actually going up to the natural with a little bit of a choke here. That is interesting. We have a dedicated mineral patch base here, just minerals. Is what I was trying to say. And some other exterior bases. I swear this looks just like an FFA map. And it probably is, but you never know. I don't know for sure. And we'll see what both players end up doing. Looking pretty similar so far in production. No proxy shenanigans going on right now. No bunker rushes. I don't think I've ever seen a bunker rush in TVT before. Seems like it wouldn't be that effective just due to the lifting up nature of Terrans and whatnot. They could just... Terrans just really good at, you know, just getting away if they could get away with it, you know. We have barracks actually being planted down here out of sight of a possible scout. So if Otani scouts in, they won't be able to see that barracks. They'll just see this base, and that could actually what is it? Could actually make their opponent think that they're doing some proxy barracks shenanigans. I think I said proxy 2K before. That was my bad. But actually, Otani's doing the same thing. So kind of a cool little technique that's going on right now. We have a scouting SCV from Otani right now. Interestingly enough, going straight north to scout their opponent, almost like he found out. That's actually a little weird. Unless he knows that so maybe these are the spawns here. It's like a 3 spawn map. And then these are the bases. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So they must know. It's no map hack shenanigans. We have a Marine, sees the SCV, and the SCV immediately freaking starts zapping that Marine. Might even get away with it. That's actually kind of crazy. Wow. Are you serious? Oh my god. Yo, that's sick. Yeah, the SCV ends up 1v1ing that Marine. Maybe because it got that first hit on the high ground there. But that is pretty poggers, honestly. That's sick. And we have a lift up from QWRE. Wow. And actually a lift up from Otani as well. We have both players going factory. vulture builds. So mech is definitely going to be present here, it seems. Both players are going to high five at some point. And Otani's going to get their natural expansion. 2 Marines to defend against anything that may arrive of a slow vulture slowly making its way down. And I think we have just a supply depot. I thought we were seeing some kind of armory or tech going on. But alas, we do not. So there you go. So we are going to see some fun stuff for Shizzle. 2 vultures on the map now. No spider mines at this time. Just slow vultures, which I think is just an excellent choice versus vultures. What better way to counter vultures than more vultures that could keep up with them? Sparix is getting focused down. Starting to burn, but it's not going to get killed anytime soon. So QWER should be able to scout as much as possible. But I don't think they're going to find anything too out of the ordinary. Yeah, 2 more factories plopping down for Otani. Do we see QWER doing the same thing? Yep, we do. Same thing, dog. Sparix does scout. Doesn't see anything crazy. Both players going for the faster vulture mover, the ion thrusters. Sparix is going to get focused down. Otani still has their barracks right now. And QWER is just chilling, macroing. We don't see any aggression with the vultures so far. But that is so far. Looks like some vultures actually did get kind of focused down. Maybe there was a little bit of engagement over there because that SFV was repairing that. Yeah. 4 vultures. We got 4 vultures to 4 vultures. Looking pretty similar right now. The Sparix is going to end up going down. So there it goes. No more scouting for QWER. Then we have some more vultures coming out. Will we see some siege tanks relatively soon? Only time will tell. Pretty large vulture count, actually. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Otani. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for QWER. So really going for that vulture count. Spider mines being researched on both sides. Otani has a bunch of vultures and some marines. So we'll see if that ends up turning the tide. Here comes a massive engagement of vultures. Here we go. It's looking like Mad Max out here. Focus fires going down all around. Otani getting kind of low on vulture counts. Marines getting focused down too. QWER not deciding to press forward at this time. See, here comes another engagement. Let's see, the focus fires are going on. Otani, as you can see, focus firing the vultures. QWER trying to do the same, but the difference is that he has SCVs to repair these vultures, so I believe that automatically will turn the tide if Micro probably no, actually ending up not coming out on top there, surprisingly. It looks like just a little stutter step in Micro, but QWER also has a lot of factories to reinforce as well. Those vultures. Both players not taking their gases at the time, just focusing on minerals. Spider mines going down for Otani. Not being activated. QWER is trying to press their advantage, trying to move up. And sending more reinforcements on the way. And this may be GG for Otani right now. The boys are having to be pulled right now. And there it is. And it looks like, based on the banter here, I saw the number 3. So maybe Otani was asking how many factories they had. I think was the question there. I actually want to see, because we could go back and we could see, yeah, 3 factories, whatever that was. Actually 4 factories. Interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering what they were asking. Yeah, I think it was just asking about the factory count, if I were to guess. I don't speak Korean or read it. So, there you go. All right. Let's do this. Next one. PVT. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do that. Did it. Did it. All right. PVT. So it's going to be Dominator, Last Barcode versus Barcode 1. Yes, our boy, the Last Barcode, the Giga Chad name. Map is Dominator again. So we have as Barcode 1 as the blue Protoss up here, and the Last Barcode as the red Terran on the bottom side. Same positions as last game, which is not surprising because it looks like the 3 spawns theory came true. Or I haven't really verified it, but I feel like it is true. Therefore, it is. Yeah, no evidence to support that. Interestingly to note, on the center of the map, we have some. Looks like stalagmites? Stalactites? What's the difference? Oh, the ones that protrude out of the ground? I'm really nerding out right now over rocks. Stalactites up. Yeah, stalactites. Okay, so there's stalactites, stalagmites. So stalactites are the ones that hang from the ceiling. So these are stalagmites. Gotcha. How fascinating. I'm sure you guys really wanted to hear that. Yeah, little stalagmites. Yeah, today I learned coming from the ground. What's a good way to remember it? Stalactites come from the stalagmites. They might come from the floor. I don't know. I gotta think of a mnemonic, or I could just memorize it, you know, like most people. Or don't worry about it at all, because I don't really need to know about it. I just defended some geologist who's possibly watching this cast as well. He's just like, oh, how dare you? You don't know the difference between stalagmites and stalactites? You, sir, are inferior. What is that? Is that a freaking Palantir from Lord of the Rings? Sci-fi version? I don't know. Anyways. We actually have a Nexus first in PvT. That's kind of cool to watch. From what I understand from my buddy David, Protoss is heavily favored in the early game versus Terran. So Nexus first is actually not terribly abnormal, it seems. Because I guess Protoss could seriously capitalize on the early game versus Terran. But once Terran gets rolling on those mech, man, lights out, buddy. It's not looking good for you, brah. So we may see some aggressive strategies coming out of Protoss. Or we may not. We may see an economic game. But either way, I think we're in for a treat. All of these games today are S tier. I just found that the S tier games, as prejudiced as it is, they tend to be faster paced, and we don't have Protoss versus Terran like we had last week, where it was just really slow and nobody was doing anything and turtling, and that's fine. But we came here to watch some entertaining games, and probably the people that upload from lower tier ranks are not looking to entertain. They're looking to maybe get some critiques or to show off what they feel is a really good game to them. Because sometimes you play a game that you feel is really intense and great and fast-paced, but you realize that there's not a lot of action going on. And if we watch these games, because we want to see action and back and forth and like a story and just some entertainment, right? Some people aren't focusing on that. I don't know where I was going with that. Just thought I'd mention it. I think I proclaimed it quite well, but I could be wrong. Who cares? Zealot moving out. Blue Zealot. Barcode 1. And last Barcode is scouting the base of Protoss Singularity Charge coming out. We got those increased range on Dragoons, and this Vulture doing an excellent job of trying to kite out this Zealot. Last Barcode is going to just stutter step it to death. That is actually a nice victory. No hits on the Vulture at all. Killing that Zealot for free. The other Zealot pulling back as well. And last Barcode is out for blood. But the Dragoon Daddy is here to save that Zealot. He's like, Papa, please save me from this motorcycle junkie. And Mom is here too. Mom and Dad come to save the day. 2 Dragoons. See how much damage that Barcode 1 could do. We have 3 Marines to defend for last Barcode and a Vulture. Let's see if the micro is strong. Vulture's going to try to poke down the Dragoon a little bit. We do have an engagement here. Marines getting focused down. We have one that does die. Zealot getting focused down. Some nice micro from Last Barcode, almost taking out the Dragoon. We have a first siege tank on the field that will thwart the Dragoons. I believe siege tanks and Brood War do have bonus damage to armor, just like 2. I could be wrong, though. There may not be any bonuses actually towards certain types of units in this game, because I don't see any monikers actually, as in biological and whatnot. I think it's just flat damage, which is pretty cool. We have a spider mine on the field as well for defense. So the Last Barcode is looking pretty good. Gonna defend their base. Actually having more saturation than our Protoss opponent due to the commitment that they're doing. One Marine actually just gets poked off. That Singularity Charge doing wonders. Siege tank on the field. Spider mine almost getting plotted down. All the Marines are dead. We only have 1 siege tank to defend. Getting repaired. 2 siege tanks. 1 siege tank goes down. We still have 1 siege tank. SCVs desperately trying to repair that siege tank, doing just that. And actually, Terran not opting to get siege upgrade, getting the ion thrusters. This siege tank does get focused down. There are no units, and that's actually going to be GG for Last Barcode. And as you can see, Protoss utilizing that early game advantage of taking out Terran. That is a tough position to be in. So it looks like David's theory is holding up pretty well. So we'll go ahead and spin the wheel. TVZ, baby. Great matchup. Great matchup. Let's do it. So TVZ, we have Kickback Rider 37 versus Barcode. Let's do it. So this is a map we have not commentated on before either. It's called Kickback, as I've mentioned. And we'll go ahead and introduce the players. Bottom right of the map, we have Barcode as the purple Terran. And on the bottom left, we have Rider 37 as the green Zerg. Map is Kickback. Just looking at the mini-map, it certainly looks interesting. We have a center base, kind of like Fighting Spirit. We have a nice tucked base right here, and lots of airspace all over the map, it seems, in the same symmetrical spots. This map is, like I said, symmetrical. It's quite beautiful, actually. I kind of like this map. This is cool. Interesting, we have a neutral sunken colony here. And if you could actually see, it's actually hanging off the top here of the wall. That's kind of funny. I like that. And we got a couple mineral patches here to kind of enclose this wall off. Actually, I think these decals here block off structures from being built here. So that is interesting, but you could still build outside of it, obviously. But I thought that was interesting to note. So, and it's actually these, this thing here, these things are in the spawn points of the opponents as well. And we have a natural that goes up the ramp. Lots of area to defend and actually put additional structures. Actually, in general, there's a lot of area to build additional structures. And actually, I can't believe it. There's actually 2 natural expansions, it seems. What does this block off building structures here? I'm not quite sure. But this certainly gives room to do, especially for Zerg, to get 2 hatch before spawning pool, or definitely early 2 hatcheries, just because you can easily defend these 2 bases on this map. And then the third gets kind of interesting, and a lot of these bases are quite constricted. This map seems pretty tough. Actually, not really. Well, it might for Zerg. It depends on the area, because like once you go here, it's going to be tough for Zerg to kind of breach Terran here. But as you can see on the center of the map, you have a lot of open space and flanking routes. But Terran can also secure their bases relatively easily. Hence the name Kickback. And as predicted, yes, we do have 2 hatchery with spawning pool and extractor. Zerg is going to go for that economic advantage. Terran also getting command center. I don't think Terran will get as quick of a command center, but I could be wrong. This is the first time I've commentated on this map. No gas for Terran at this time, so maybe, yeah, maybe going for that. We'll see. But Zerg is typically going to go for that lair research and starting to get gas right now. I would imagine that we're going to see a fast lair come out for Zerg, get some mutas, start doing some harass, and taking advantage of this open airspace that is across the map. Nice overlord placement here to scout for any move outs from Terran. We do have a Marine. No, nothing to defend. We have a sunken colony mutating. It's almost complete, so this should be an easy defense. And Terran immediately pulls back. Zerg is so comfortable right now just getting drones. And I believe is morphing a lair. Oh no, they are not. Getting metabolic boost? Interesting. We have a lot of gas here for Ryder, so we'll see what ends up happening. I think it's going to be Hydrogen. Okay, going Hydras. So that's what the gas is going to be used for. We have 2 barracks for Terran going bio. I think this is the only matchup where you do go bio. And actually, we just see an academy, so we will see some stim, maybe some marine range, but we don't see any other command center going down right now. Probably no need to at this time. And interestingly enough, the sunken colony getting damaged a little bit. There was a bit of an engagement, it seems, for these players. Hydrogen, we got faster movement speed for those Hydralisks. That is pretty spicy. And yeah, Overlord just chilling out here. Both players kind of chilling. Stim is being researched at this time. Some medics coming out. We may see a bio ball push timing with the Stim. No engineering bay at this time to get some upgrade goodies. And yeah, since we don't see a second base from Terran, I have to imagine they are going to go for some kind of aggressive, classic Marine medic beeline push. Yeah, we have tons of Marines, tons of medics coming out as well. But we have Hydras to defend and a sunken colony. No lurker research at this time. Simply too early, I believe. Some nice saturation on these other bases. Comsat does go down from Terran to try to see, and Terran does know that Hydras are in production. They know that they are safe from mutas, and so he can easily move out. Overlord is getting focused down. This is a pretty scary push for Terran, and these Marines do have stim, and we do have increased Marine range. I believe Terran is certainly committing here. And also getting an engineering bay to start getting some upgrades. Let's see how Zerg can defend. Quite a substantial Hydra force. Probably not enough sunken colonies to defend. But we'll certainly see. This is going to be tough. Hydras are getting in position. Nice concave. Comsat does go down, but doesn't reveal the Hydra positioning here. More Marines coming out. And it looks like Zerg is actually going to end up pushing in, trying to bait the Bioforce into the sunken colony. Faster movement speed is increased. We do have a stim going down, but not really committing. Here we go. So we do have an engagement. Hydra's in a nice concave with the sunken colony. Sunken colony goes down. Nice focus fire on the Marines. The medics are doing quite a bit of damage, but the Hydra count is getting low. And the Overlords are getting focused. A really bad position for the Overlords, unfortunately, because that is going to supply block Ryder. More Hydralists are on the field. Another Overlord is going to get focused down, but it looks like Zerg's only saving grace is to try to focus down the Marines as much as possible. Barely kind of holding on, but simply the sustain for the Marines as well as the stim is looking quite strong for Zerg. But actually the Marines are getting focused down. Nice reinforcements for the Hydralists. And the last Marine is going to be used to kind of scout the opponent. Zerg doing an excellent job of barely holding on there. Looks like is going to try to maximize and try to take out these expensive medics. Well, not really expensive, but quite key units for sure. Stim moving out, focusing down the Hydras. Some focus fire, but the medics are out of position. These Marines are going to get immediately focused down Zerg is out for blood. We have Lurker research being complete as well, but reinforcements for the Terran to try to take out the Zerg. I think the Zerg overextended a little bit here, but we have some Hydras to defend. We have a creep colony being plopped down as well, and some more creep colonies as well. But Terran isn't deciding to press their advantage there. Try to do damage. Oops, I clinked too hard there with the classes there. We have some sunken colonies being morphed as well. No fourth base going down for Terran. Zerg. Zerg doesn't need to do that at this time because they're still one base ahead of their opponent. And also probably pulling the resources and defending against another onslaught, another wave of Terran coming on. +1 infantry weapons being researched, +1 carapace for Zerg at this time. And a science facility coming out for Terran, so we will see some Irradiate come out soon. Zerg definitely needs to try to tech. We do have a lair. We have some macro hatches in the other bases as well, so reinforcing this attack is going to be quite paramount, but only 2 Hydralisks in production. 3 sunken colonies to defend, but the Marine count and Siege Tank and Medic count is simply too high. I think Zerg really needed to pool the resources into getting some units. We do have a Lurker on the field that will actually help defend against this. Just barely. Hydra's getting out of position again. Lurkers being repositioned as well. Interesting. So the Lurkers are going right, literally smack dab in the front of the Siege Tank. If the Siege Tank gets focused down, that will be pretty huge, but barely getting out. 29 HP SCV there to try to defend. Lurkers slowly pushing their way, and the Siege Tank gets focused down, but there is another Siege Tank on the field. I believe Terran does have enough for Comsat, and there it is. Lurkers getting focused down. More Hydras on the field, more Lurkers in production as well. Overlords are kind of out in the front here, and some reinforcing Terrans moving out this game. We are in for a game right now. Lurkers still in position and actually thwarting off or staving off the Terran force. Comsat going down. There is sight. Lurker goes down. Hydra's having to pull back. Some sunken colonies to defend. 3 Lurkers to defend. But I don't think we have enough energy for a Comsat for Terran. Notice that Terran only has 2 bases still. I think it's 50 energy, so there's only 1 Comsat left for Terran. Irradiate is on the field, +1 armor going down as well. Here comes, oh, the science vessel is a detector, so it doesn't really matter, but a huge push for Zerg. Gonna focus down the Bioforce rather than the Siege Tank as well. Siege Tank goes down. Lurkers doing a bunch of damage. Reinforcing troops for Terran. Moving out. Lurkers in a nice position. And actually the science vessel got focused down as well. Siege Tank being plopped down as well. We are in for a game right now. 11 Hydralisks coming back out on the field. We have an Overlord just chilling here to note. 2 Siege Tanks, some Marines. We have 3 Siege Tanks to try to push here against the Zerg forces here. And Terran's actually going for a 3rd base right now, so it definitely behoove Zerg to push and clean up this force and then possibly take a 4th at this time. But the contain here for Terran is looking pretty strong. Irradiate is done. I think it was used on something. Maybe I don't know. But if a science vessel Lurker does get focused down, that detector is simply too strong. But a nice sunken colony position here. Siege Tank's going to easily focus it down. There it goes. Siege Tank doing a nice job. Comsat to try to detect some Lurkers. Irradiate goes down on the Lurkers there, but smartly burrowing that Lurker to try to take that debuff off. Lurkers moving in. Quite ambitious. Here they come. Science Vessels is able to reveal them, and all the Lurkers get a focus down immediately, and this is not looking good for a Zerg player. In fact, this is probably game. We have 9 Hydralisks to come out and defend, but we've been surprised before. Maybe Zerg can do that, and there goes Ryder in a valiant effort, but the Terran macro was simply too strong, and the contain was simply too strong there. Now we have ZVZ. We're getting the last mirror matchup out of the way for the night or the day. Zerg versus Protoss will be the last one after this. A great one to end on. Let's do it. We have Radion Zerg versus Zerg, Zealot versus Barcode 1B something. Barcode 1 Barcode. Got it. All right. Here we go. Map is Radion, a familiar map. Top right of the map, we have INO Zealot or Zealot. Not like Zealot that we know and love for Protoss. In the top left of the map, we have Barcode 1 Barcode. So there you go. So, classic map. ZVZ. Will both players end up doing the same thing? Will certainly be interesting. We have seen ZVZs where the Zerg went hatch first. That was crazy because they died immediately. Typically, that just happens if your Zerg opponent ends up going Zerglings and you have nothing to defend against that. That could apply to every matchup, too. Ooh, this is a really cool skin. I like this. Looks like, I think I've mentioned this before. It looks like Mount Doom. It's a volcano hatchery. And then we have our standard hatchery, which still looks as cool. What does it look like on the... oh, interesting. So when you go on the old graphics, that makes sense. You go on the old graphics, it just looks like the same. But when you go on the new graphics, you could have your skin. That's pretty cool. Barcode 1 Barcode is actually saving up their money and ends up going hatch first. So I wonder if this is safe to do. I've been surprised before because it just seems like it wouldn't be safe because, well, Barcode 1 is also going for hatch first. Maybe there's some kind of gentleman's agreement. I couldn't tell you. Maybe Barcode 1 or Barcode 1 Barcode knows this opponent and knows that they go hatch first every game and ends up just doing it themselves. I don't know. You'd think if they did, though, they would go for some kind of Zergling all-in. I don't know. Ultimately, it's their choice, right? So there you go. We have Extractor into spawning pool at this time. That's pretty spicy. Overlords have reached each other's bases. And believe in ZVZ. We do a lot of Zerglings in the early game. I think we go mutas. Yeah, mutas. We go mutas to try to harass and do a bunch of damage. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fast layer after possibly metabolic boost. It'll probably be metabolic boost into layer or reversed. But natural base is down for Zealot. Zealot. Zell. I don't know. Got some Zerglings coming out as well. And yep, there is. Okay, fast layer. So it's going to be layer before metabolic boost. If we even see metabolic boost at all. This is Barcode 1 Barcode, right? Yeah, orange. Zerglings are out in the field. I believe, yeah, once we see 100, we may see some metabolic boost increase. Looks like we're not. So that is interesting, because in StarCraft 2, metabolic boost was just a must. You just do it every game, no matter what, because just Zergling speed is really nice, right? A little bit of an engagement here. Barcode 1 Barcode has more Zerglings to try to take out these out. And actually, Barcode 1 Barcode splits up their units. Because, yeah, Sunken Colony needed to defend and 4 Zerglings to even out this. This is going to look pretty spicy. No Sunken Colony for Zealot. Let's see how much damage that these orange Zerglings can do. 1 drone gets focused down, maybe 2. But actually, the micro is looking pretty strong for Zealot. And a nice trap for Zealot here, cleaning up most of these Zerglings here. An excellent job. We have an evolution chamber to try to complete the wall off here for Barcode. We have a Spire coming out, so we will see some mutas relatively shortly, which will be fun to see. Which will be fun to see. Take us to your leader. Senior. Wow. Okay, sorry. I don't know what that was. We have a lot of Zerglings. I don't think they have metabolic boost, right? I mean, they're pretty fast, so maybe they did and I just didn't see it. Can't quite tell. But Barcode has a Sunken Colony to defend against these units. But the thing about Sunken Colony is they're single target, but they'll still make a difference in this fight, I believe. A nice concave for orange. But the Zergling count was simply too high. Sunken Colony doing a lot of damage. Zealot has a lot of units to kind of push in. Jones being forced to micro and move. And we still have more Zerglings. More Zerglings. Welcome. More Zerglings are coming. Here we go. We got the mutas. We have 3 mutalisks coming out on the field. And a spawning pool actually getting focused. And unfortunately, Barcode isn't able to do anything. This is really bad because that means that Barcode is not going to be able to make any Zerglings to defend against the ground forces. It's just going to be the Sunken Colony. But Mutalisks do great versus Zerglings because they can't focus up in the Spire. It's actually getting focused down and actually gets killed. And Scourge is on the field. Zealot has what did the Zealot Scourge? I think there's okay, no, that's sorry, this is Barcode Scourge that we're moving out. And the Mutas are going to be used to defend against the Zerglings, which will be quite nice. And Zealot just got their Spire down as well. We have some Mutas coming out. Unfortunately, where is that spawning pool? I don't think... Okay, it looks like Barcode is not opting at all to make another spawning pool. They're just going to stick to the Sunken Colony. But Zealot has a bunch of... Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like you just can't defend versus that. Dang. Well, all right. It's as simple as that. You just couldn't do anything. Like, once that spawning pool and Spire got focused down, there's just nothing you could really do at that point. That's too bad. But... last game of the day, we have Barcode versus JDU on the map. Kick bap, bim bim bap. We have Barcode as the yellow Protoss, top left of the map. Bottom right of the map, we have JDU Saber, a Star Wars fan, it seems. And again, this map is interesting. With these choke points, Zerg able to get these 2 bases really easily. But getting that 4th, it seems, is pretty tough, especially if Protoss capitalizes on containing their opponent here. But Zerg could also potentially go Mutalisk, which we don't really see that much in PvZ because obviously, you know, Protoss is going to go for Corsair most likely. We probably will see a Forge Fast expand relatively shortly here. And it looks like you can actually warp in build structures in this little choke point. So Protoss could even go for 2 Nexus as well relatively quickly. So that will be interesting. Overlord moving out and immediately going to the spawn where Protoss is going to be. Zerg's going to be able to see their opponent quite easily. We actually have a spawning pool first. Huh. Well, that's interesting. We have a spawning pool first and extractor before hatchery. So, oh, okay. There was a little bit of an extractor trick. Nice. I think we're going to see an aggressive strategy here versus Protoss. That will be interesting considering that Protoss has a wall off here. Let's see if the Zerglings will be able to slip through. Maybe Zerg's expecting Protoss to go a little greedy. But it's certainly too early to tell. Zerg is saving up for a hatchery, it seems, but those resources could easily go into some Zerglings. And they do. So there you go. Still enough to get a hatchery. So it looks like it's going to be 3 Zergling aggression here. And then we do have that first hatchery being plopped down. We have a Zealot coming out for Barcode. No gas, mind you. So definitely saving up for a fast Nexus, it seems. Zealot actually moving out to try to do some aggression. But 1 Zealot versus 6 Zerglings. I think the Zerglings win barely. We have another Zealot coming out as well. And a pylon to try to kind of complete that wall off. Kind of forcing Protoss's hand. Another Zealot to defend in this wall. There it is. I was a little worried there. Zealots should just stay on hold position for sure. Micro is pretty good, though. Ah, baby, that's a cute kitty. Gateway's getting focused down. We have a third Zealot on the way. Protoss doesn't have a Nexus to their name, and Zerglings do slip through that little pocket there. See how much damage they could do. These probes are going to have to be forced to pull off the line. There is going to be enough resources for a Nexus here. And there it goes. Nexus is plopped down. But these Zerglings proving to be quite annoying. And forcing Protoss to get a bunch of Zealots here is definitely less than ideal. 4 Zealots to their name. 1 Zealot to, or 2 Zealots to chase these Zerglings indefinitely. Hi! How's it going? My kitty is, wants some love, I guess. And actually, smart play. I love this, actually. So Zerg is going for a little bit of a ninja expand here. And that's going to open up room to grab this hatchery as well. And then Zerg will be extremely ahead in economy. And also opens up the door to grab more bases, because it is tough for Zerg, as we noticed in that last game, to push out if this area is contained. Zerglings are focusing down the probes. Things are slowing down a little bit, but there's still those 3 pesky Zerglings in the base of Protoss. Still quite an annoying position to be in. We have a Forge. No Cybernetics Core, mind you. It is coming out now. So Protoss is quite behind in tech. And I would even venture to say economy, because of the easy nature to take the natural expansions. So Protoss is in a rough position right now. Definitely not out of the game. Metabolic Boost is being researched right now, and a lair as well. And we will most likely, it seems, see some, we're going to either see Hydras or we're going to see Mutalisk. And considering the by nature of Stargate, the by nature of Protoss, yeah, there is the Spire. So we'll definitely see some Mutas and Scourge to try to thwart the Corsairs. We have +1 air and +1 ground for Protoss being researched, interestingly enough. So Protoss is committing to Stargate, it seems, once he starts getting those upgrades. And we have a Photon Cannon to defend. We have a Zealot move out. Overlord sees this. 6 Zealots, to be exact, and a 7th on the way. Some Zerglings to defend, some drones to defend. The ground forces for Zerg is pretty low, and I think Protoss actually just discovered that ninja expansion, but not diverting the Zealots. It also maybe didn't see that. Here they come. This is going to be tough to defend. This is not a sunken colony, it's a neutral. So it's just going to be the Zerglings and drones right now. Some nice focus fires. Zealots are kind of out of position, but they are going to focus down Zerg here. More Zealots all on the way. Protoss is pulling the resources, and this Spire is actually getting focused down. This will be bad if it gets killed. Zerg desperate to try to stave off these Zealots. Spire is still alive, but a lot of drones are going to die because of this, unfortunately. Another Zealot is out on the field. We don't see any more. We see 3 Zerglings to try to come out and to defend. And Protoss doing quite a bit of damage, 1 HP on that Zealot. Protoss doing an excellent job of trying to get back in that game with that Zealot push. Just an excellent job. Stargate, some Corsairs coming out. We have a second Stargate as well. We are going to see some commitment with the Stargate, it seems. A couple of macro hatches down on these ninja base for Zerg. We may even see a ninja, or not a ninja expansion, a second natural expansion being plopped down. And an incredible split of Zerglings from Zerg. If you see on the minimap, just all bases have been explored, all units. We have a Corsair coming out. 1 kill, it seems. An Overlord did meet its fate, unfortunately. And we have, yep, +1 as well. We don't see a Fleet Bacon at all. See another Gateway. Definitely going to go heavy into the Zealots. We have a Photon Cannon to focus down the Scourge. 1 Scourge ends up connecting with the Corsair, getting about half almost half, 3/4, so 3/4 to be accurate, health of the Corsair. 2 Scourge are on the way again. Let's see if they can finish that Corsair off. Zerglings on the field. No static defense to the Zerg's name. And these Zealots looking pretty strong. We have some Mutalisks coming out on the field, which will help in the defense. And I think we missed one of the Scourge. No, Scourge are still here to try to focus down some Corsairs. But really, they are being used to scout right now. Zerglings pulling back. And a Sunken Colony getting focused down. And a heavy Corsair count. 4 to be exact. This is going to easily supply block our Zerg player. And it does. Spire getting focused down too. Not good. Mutalisks do get out on the field, but Corsairs are here to focus down. That's going to be it. That is just unfortunate. One fell swoop. Protoss just taking advantage and attacking at the right time for that last game. Excellently played. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode of Nipaa TV, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.